Sketch together.
Hey, hello guys. On this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through me vectorizing a painting that I did over the weekend. So I did a painting that I really liked over the weekend, and I'm going to place it here on Illustrator. So to do that is I already emailed myself that photo. I took that photo on my phone, and then I already have it on my computer. So I'm just going to place it here. So I go to File, Place, and then I can just place it anywhere on my canvas. It's a little bit too small, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And then instead of working on the artboard, I'm going to delete the hello. Then I'm going to press Command-Shift-H, and that way I have the artboard, all of the artboard for me to work freely. So as you can see here, this is a painting that I did. It's a little bit. It's simple, but it's also complicated because of all the painting. So we're going to vectorize, make simpler lines from this painting, and probably remove a lot of the shading, a lot of the lighting, and make it, well, again, simple. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing that I'm going to do is probably align this painting because probably the photo is not that perfect. So I'm going to press Command R, and I'm going to try to align this. I put it around there. I can see that the eyes are not very well aligned, so I'm going to rotate a little bit. There you go. So, I mean, it could be that it's not just a photo, it's probably, since this was hand-drawn, it will have some imperfections. Obviously, as you can see here, this side is a little bit larger than the other side. So I think that the best thing to do will be to do one side and then mirror it to the other side, and that way it will be symmetric. So probably we will do this one and probably keep some of the elements like this element, and all of this we'll do again. Will not, all of this will not be symmetric. This will not be symmetric, but the face we want it to be symmetric, the hair, and probably even the flowers. So okay, I feel good about this. I think I'm going to keep it like that. And the first thing, I don't need these guides anymore. I'm going to select them and delete them. Command R to remove the rulers. I don't need the rulers. I live with no rules. And then I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to change the opacity of my illustration. So I'm going to change it to 30%. That way I can still see it and it's still there, but I can draw on top of it. And I'm going to also block this layer. So how I do it is Object and then Lock. So selection, and that's it. I cannot select it by accident anymore. And you can also do it by pressing Command 2. So if you go to Object, and sorry, first of all, I'm going to unlock all. And so I select it, and then I press Command 2, and that's it. I blocked it too. I locked it. Sorry, I'm saying block. Okay, so let's start. I always start with the eye. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's already there. I'm going to first of all, let's identify what simple shapes we're going to be using. So I can see that first of all here, this is going to be a circle, another circle. This is probably going to be a rectangle here in the middle, and then I'm probably going to do some shaping, some custom shaping here, probably the same here on the ear. Then this is going to be a circle, another circle. So probably a curve here, then add another curve here, and that way we will be able to duplicate it and mirror it on the other side. So okay. Let's start with the eye. So first of all, a circle. There you go. I put it there. Selection. It's around there. That's pretty good. So first of all, I'm going to change the color of this stroke to black, and probably even 2 pixels. There you go. And then I'm going to. There are 2 ways that I can do the shape of this. I can do it first with a rectangle, and like this, and then something like this, and then start customizing the shapes. So as you can see, again, it doesn't have to be perfect, and I don't know, you can go ahead and do that, and starting with a rectangle, a rounded rectangle, but I'm going to actually do it with the pen. So I press P, or I select it from over here, P, the pen tool, and I'm actually going to draw it. So I'm going to put points, and I think I'm going to go all the way here. There you go. Let's zoom in so we can see it perfectly. So here, let's delete it to see it real quick. That's about right. Probably this one is going to be about here. And then we're going to add a little bit over here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I press Shift-C, and I start shaping this curve over here. Let's do the same here, do the same here, about the same here. So press Shift-C, and then I make this symmetric. This one is asymmetric. This should be symmetric too. And that's about it. I like the shape of this eye right now. Let's make this a little bit more symmetric. There you go. A little bit less sharp. I like it. Like it a lot. So that's about it. Probably a little bit So I press Shift C and I move it a little bit closer to the pupil. There you go. There you go. We have our eye, the basic of our eye. Let's go ahead and do the same here. So press P, and then I just do this. 3 points. Perfect. It's the 3-pointer. And then let's go ahead and try to vectorize this. I do with the pen tool. I go ahead and let's go ahead and put 2 points. Let's see if we can do it with 4 points. So like this, and then we change this one like this, and then let's do the same here. This one and this one like this, and now it created a pretty cool eyebrow. So again, let's go ahead and do that again so you learn what I did right there. So I put only 4 points, and this seems like a very complicated, a more complicated curve, but it's actually one viscere going up and one going down, and that's what creates that tension there. So let's do it again. I press Shift C, go ahead and do this, go ahead and do this too, and then on these 2 points, I'm going, instead of going up, they're going to go down. So now they will create this tension between the 2 points. So one goes up and one goes down. It creates that very fierce eyebrow from our little Frida. There you go. I like that. I like that shape. I think I'm going to actually let's leave it like that right for now. And let's go ahead and do the half of the face. Now, before that, let's do the pretty quick this. So for that, I'm going to create a circle, press L, or I go over here and press the ellipse tool. And then I'm going to remove this point, and that's pretty much it. Remember, we're simplifying the painting. The painting is a little bit more complex than what we are going to have. So it doesn't have to be perfectly like the painting. You are trying to simplify it and vectorize it. So let's go ahead and do the same over here with the little smile. So I think the smile goes around with a circle, around there, around there. I think I'm liking this smile right there. So I'm going to, there are 2 things that I can do. I can, with a rectangle, put it around there, and then cut the circle below you. With the Pathfinder, I go to subtract, and then here I press Shift C, select this, and sorry, direct selection tool, select this, and I delete it. That's a trick that somebody commenting on YouTube told me about. I didn't know that. I used to do something very different. And so yeah, again, so I have my the shape that I had from, I created a circle here, and then I put a rectangle that was going to cut this. So I cut it, and then I, with the direct selection tool, was pressing A, or over here, direct selection tool, I selected this path, and then I press delete. And oops, sorry, I selected that path and then I deleted it. There you go. So we have our little smile from Frida, and then let's go ahead and create the shape of the head. So let's try to put it around there. It's a rectangle, and let's I'm going to change this one around there, and then I'm going to keep this. I think I'm going to move it around there. There you go. Perfect. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep it just 90 degrees. And I'm going to explain later why. Because it's going to be the hair on top of the head. So we can keep this linear and it will be fine. So there you go. Now we want to shape this part. So press Shift C or go over here and go to Anchored Point Tool. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then you just click here and then it returns it into being an asymmetric line. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do this and then click here, and then this is just a line with a vizier on the other side. I think around there looks good. I'm liking it. Again, it's not perfect, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not exactly like the painting, but the painting was not perfect either. Okay, so I think we're good. We're good with that. Let's go ahead and do this. The ear on the side. So I'm going to pretty much create a rectangle too, and I'm going to put it around there. Then I'm going to select these 2 points, and I'm going to, again, with this direct selection tool, or press A, I'm going to select these 2 points, and I'm going to make them round. See how I did that? That's pretty cool, right? And then I'm going to select this point, and I'm going to move it around here. I'm going to move this one around here. Then press Shift C, and then let's make this symmetric curve. Sorry. There you go, around there. That's perfect. And then over here, I want this to go inside. So let's just move it around there. let's keep this round. There you go. I think we're good. Let's remove this point. We don't need that point. You're gonna see why we don't need it. We already have this one over here, so just move it around here. There you go. That's good. I like it. And we can even remove this point if we wanted to. And there you go. It's many ways that you can accomplish this shape in many other ways, I'm pretty sure. But I did it this way. You can find a different way, and I would love to see your results. And I'm going to add one line here. So just put 2 points, and that's about it. That's going to simulate this. I'm going to move it right there. It's not exactly like the illustration, but I like it like this. Perfect. So we have one side. Probably we need this. So let's go ahead and actually duplicate this. I duplicate it, and then I transform it down a little bit like this. There you go. And it's not perfect. Let's move it a little bit over here. Move it a little bit too. There you go. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and do the hair. Hair is going to be pretty easy. So for the hair, let's actually do everything with the pen tool. So I can see here that this is one point, this is another point, this is this is another point, and this is another point, and then it closes here. So let's go ahead and line this, and this one is going to be a pretty wild curve, and let's go ahead and do that. So press Shift C and then start dragging, and there you go. See how that magic starts happening? Shift C is a magical tool that I'm pretty sure you will start using a lot, hopefully. And then over here, press Shift C again, the direct selection tool, and then, sorry, it's not direct selection tool, it's called anchor point tool. Anchor point tool, love the anchor point tool. There you go. So I made the curves here. See how the hair is going to be on top of the head. So this angle over here that we have for our face is going to be covered, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, cool. Let's align these two babies. So I'm selecting these two. They're not exactly aligned, so I'm going to go to align to selection and align to horizontal align center. And there you go. Let's put them. Perfect. This one is here. This one is there. It's looking good. I'm liking the results. This is going to be duplicated over here. Let's go ahead and actually, I want to change the curve on this. It's too sharp. So let's go ahead and do this. And we could even probably remove this point. No, actually, I do like it. Shift C around there. And then Shift C and move this around there. Just so it goes around the eye. There you go. There you go. Ladies and gents, I think I'm liking this. Let's add this little curve here with a pen tool. 2 points, and then the second point I just do this. It's pretty good. And then let's do the earring. The earring I do, press the line segment tool, and then I put it there. And then I can go ahead and do a polygon tool. And then when you do a polygon tool by default, it gives you an octagon. Is this a octagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this is a hexagon. I'm sorry, I'm an idiot apparently. So it gives you a hexagon, but you don't want a hexagon. You want a triangle. So to do that, you start dragging, and then you press the key down below. Down arrow key, and you can go up or you can go down. You can go all the way down, and then now you have a triangle. And then you press Shift. That way it keeps a nice triangle like this. And if you want to change any of this, you go to transform panel, and then you can even change the number of sides from it. So you can make a square, pentagon, hexagon. I don't know what you call it when it's 7. Please correct me over there. Octagon and so on. So but right now we have a triangle, and we want to change the rounded corners of it. There you go. That's about it. It's pretty good. I'm going to align by selection. These two are aligned. I'm liking it. Later we're going to do the lines inside, but let's not worry about that right now. Let's worry about the neck. Okay, the neck is pretty easy. It's a rectangle. So let's do a rectangle right there. And then after that, we want to also add this part of her body below the hair coat. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to create a circle, and then that's going to be about it. around there. Let's align it to the rectangle. Oops, you have to select those two to be aligned. There you go. I think I can create one single shape from it. I like that. All of this is going to be covered by the code, so we don't have to worry about it right now. Let's go ahead and create these hair color. So hair color is it's pretty much just circles, so it should be easy. Oops, sorry. You have to select the ellipse tool, and then press and shift, just drag, and then start pointing them. And I'm going to, with Option drag, I'm going to start dragging the other circles. Apparently this one is a little bit smaller, but let's make this one a little bit bigger, and start dragging like this. And Command V, Command V. This one's going to be around there. I'm going to make all of them a little bit bigger. Select all of them and make them bigger. There you go. And then I'm going to align these. So I'm going to distribute the spacing between them. And I'm going to move this a little bit like this, so it looks a little bit rounded. And so we have that, and then we'll be able to duplicate it over here. But we want the shape in the middle. So the shape in the middle is kind of it's a pentagon. I don't know what I made there. It's a weird shape. So let's actually go ahead and do that. So what I can do right away is start with a rectangle, and then I start like this in the middle, and then I just drag this little guy, this point over here, and then we have it looks like the shape of the Superman I don't know, Superman sign. Okay, so let's add ramp over there, and then I'm not going to add a ramp corner to this one, not just yet. So Command C, Command V, and then I'm going to duplicate this one. There are two shapes here. I just duplicated that one, so I'm going to transform, and I'm going to flip horizontal with the anchor point to the right, and then boom, good boom. Going to connect these two shapes. There you go. And now I will change the roundness of this. There you go. That's looking good. I'm going to actually make this a little bit. Oops, I don't want that point. So press minus, and then I delete that anchor point, and I can start doing that. Yeah, looks nice. And let's make it like this. So it looks a little bit like the illustration. I actually like that. That is not perfect. And I think we're ready. The only thing that is missing are the flowers. So it's going to be a little bit difficult part. Actually, no. Once you have one shape, it's going to be really easy to duplicate all the different petals. So let's actually go ahead and create one petal. So I'm not going to exactly follow these because the petals that I made there are actually pretty bad. So I'm going to go ahead and do it over here. Over here, I have one rectangle, and this is going to be half of a petal. So, and the first thing that I want to do is, I'm actually, you're going to hate me for this, but I'm actually going to, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to delete this little guy, and I'm going to do a pen tool, 2 points, sorry, put 1 point, and then I go back and I close it, and it looks just, there's a line, but actually this is a loop. So if I press Shift C and start dragging, then I have half of my petal. See, so again, I put 1 point here, 1 point down, and then 1 point up, and then I created this. And if I start dragging, I'm dragging one side of the petal. So there you go. Kind of like I'm going to make it less sharp over here, and I have that. Press Command C, press Command Shift V. That way it duplicates right there. And I'm going to flip it horizontally, and I have my petal. And I'm going to put this together. That's about right. I like that. And then I'm going to add just one line there. I'm actually liking it a lot. That's pretty good. So over here, as you can see, I made them with 5 petals in the middle or something like that. I don't know. Again, don't even look at that flower. I know it's hideous. So I'm going to press Command C, Command V, and then I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to rotate it over here in the bottom. Oops. So put that there, and then I'm going to put 360 divided by 5, and then it gives me whatever that is. And then 360 divided by 5, how much is that? 75, 72? 72. So okay, I'm going to do the same here. So Command C, Command Shift UV. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to Command C, Command UV, and I have another shape there. I'm going to damn it. I'm going to actually have to do it over here. How am I going to do it? Okay, I'm going to do it this way. I know how I'm going to do it. Again, 360 divided by 5. There you go. Obviously it's not perfect. I'm going to line it over there. I'm going to do this, let's look at Command C, Command V, the same, 360 divided by 5, which is 72 we said, right? But we're still gonna do it. Let's do this one, Command C, Command V, and let's actually do minus 72. Minus 72, let's see if it works. Damn, we're good. There you go. We have our flower ready. We have all the petals at least. So I suppose the thing is here is going to be what is on top of what. So we can leave it like that. I don't think it's, I like it like that. I don't care. Do you care? I don't care. I'm pretty sure there are better ways to do this, but let's keep it like that. Let's put a circle in the middle, and that way it's, let's put this one on the bottom, and it's looking all right. Okay, so we have one flower, and this one is going to be the one in the small version of the flower in the middle, and then press Command C, Command V, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to bring it behind that one. I'm going to rotate it a little bit, and now it's like that. Yay! Which could be, what would it be? 31 degrees? Let's see if it's actually 31 degrees. Let's align it to the center. That is not 31 degrees. That is not what I wanted. So let's just do it by, I don't know, around there. I like it there. No, that's not what I liked. It's around there. Yeah, I like it. It's not perfect, but it's my flower. There you go. So we have one flower there, and all we're gonna do later is just duplicate over here, duplicate over there, and probably over here, and we should be fine. So let's go ahead and start duplicating. But before start duplicating, I think something that needs more detail is the eye. So boom, 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 boom. How are we going to do that? So everything is going to have strokes. All of our illustration is going to be based with strokes. So the eye is a little bit different because it has fill and then also has this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more stroke right here and one more stroke right here. That's going to be her eyelashes, and I think I'm happy with how it is. Also, let's add another circle right there. There you go. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy. So let's select these three shapes. Let's align them, center them, perfect. And let's go ahead and align it with this guy. It's around there. That's what we want. Again, remember, our illustration is not perfect, so there will be a moment when we will need to actually do it on the other side. So I think we're good. Let's go ahead and duplicate this little guy. So we need all of this, but we don't need this shapes. So I think we have everything. So press Command C, Command V, and then I'm going to flip it from the side, and now we have that. And it looks kind of weird, but it will not look weird once we move it over here. So it's starting to look good. Okay, let's start using the Pathfinder to create unions on the shapes that need to be united. There you go. All of this stuff is going to be aligned to the face. So select all these guys, and then I select the face, and I click again on the face, and then that way it becomes the key object, and then I align it to the center, and now everything is aligned to the face. And let's try to do that with the eyes too. So I'm going to select everything on the eyes, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be aligned, but just to make sure, yeah, I mean, it's duplicated, obviously it's aligned. So let's go ahead and duplicate this little flower, rotate it a little bit, just put it behind the other flower, around there, and then we can flip it over here, flip horizontal, there you go. Have our two flowers, and then probably we can, over here, I'm going to double click, I'm going to erase the shape behind, I'm going to rotate it a little bit, there you go, to make it a little bit smaller, and it's going to be behind the other shape, there you go. And then I'm going to flip it horizontally, duplicate and flip it horizontally here, I align it, I group it, and I align it to the face. There you go. These two should be grouped and aligned to the face too. This should be by default aligned to the face. There you go. And now we have our roses. All of our flowers, I'm going to group them in one single group, and I'm going to put them on the top. There you go. I feel like probably something that we can do is actually make her face a little bit narrower. So I'm going to select her hair and her face, and I'm going to make it a little bit narrower. There you go. And now I can move this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This guy over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. And then I'm going to align it. I'm pretty sure everything's aligned. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and I'm going to select her necklace and then duplicate it over here and flip it horizontally. Put it around there. This guy is like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. Go all the way to the top. I think I am liking where this is at. I'm going to group it and I'm going to align it to the face. Perfect. There you go. I think it's looking good. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and do that pretty cool skull. So I think first thing you can do is just pretty much just make a circle. You know what? We're not gonna use the sketch for this one. Let's just do it. Let's do it over here. It's pretty easy. You're gonna love this. So over here, create a circle, and then I add the teeth of the skull. So 3 rectangles. There you go. Let's align it to the selection around there, and then we add the eyes. But before adding the eyes, let's make this round. That's pretty good. I think I'm liking it. And now let's unite all of these shapes. Select all of them, and then I shape them. That's perfect. Now if you want to get fancy, you can get fancy by just making this curves a little bit. Actually creating one point here, and then delete this one, and now it goes fancy. I'm sorry, I'm being silly. There you go. I think now it's not as sharp as it was before. And actually, we can go ahead and delete this. Dun, dun, dun. And then Command C, Command V, flip it horizontally, and now we have that. And then also something that probably we want is 1, 2, or just 1. There you go. Now let's unite them. There you go. We have the shape of our skull. Now let's create a rectangle over here. This is going to be our eyes. We're going to remove one of the points like that, and then we're gonna add a curve like this. And this could be pretty much just like we did the petal of the flowers. It could be just 2 points, but let's keep it at 3, just so you see what the advantages of having 3 points is. That this one is, you have 1 point that is controlling all the piece here, but just in case you want to get a little bit more creative. But that's pretty much it. I think I'm liking this. Let's make this a little bit rounder, That's pretty good. Command C, Command V. Let's flip it horizontally. Just move it around there. Is it looking similar? Close enough. And then let's add a triangle down there. And again, to go to the polygon tool, and then shift and drag, and then let's make it a little bit smaller. And change the roundness of the shape, and I think we're good. I like it. Let's actually center everything. So let's put it around there. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Now group them and center it. That's pretty good. And then this ones are I'm going to press Command 8, and now I combine this with that. Actually don't want to do that because this one will have a fail. Be like that. Okay, we have our skull. Let's move the skull over here. Center these two guys. And this should be centered. I think we're pretty good. I think we're in a pretty good position now to start coloring stuff. So to start coloring, I'm actually going to press go to Objects, Unlock, and I'm going to change the opacity of this one back to 100%. And I'm going to actually use some of the colors that I had on the illustration. So I'm going to over here, I'm going to duplicate this just for the sake of it. And I'm going to put some rectangles just so. Oh, before anything, I'm going to erase all of these colors that Illustrator gives you by default because they are horrible. So to do that, just select all of them, and then press delete swatch, yes, and then all these, goodbye, yes, there you go. I only have white, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually create my, instead of black, total black, I like using a blue, like somewhere in the middle, dark blue. And that's usually my outlines colors on some of my illustrations. So I'm going to create a new color. Sorry. So I have that color that I really like. I go over here to new swatch, and then I put it, I'm going to rename it to outlines, and then I make it a global color. That way I can reuse it, and if I change my mind, instead of that color I want to change it, it will change everywhere else. So there you go. I have my outlines, and I am going to create, oh man, close. Oh man, Adobe, why do you keep doing this? Anyway, sorry. That was my rant against Adobe and their Creative Cloud and forcing me to put everything on their Creative Cloud, and I hate it. Sorry. End of rant. Okay, let's take the colors from her hair and her shadows and also her skin. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to duplicate these. So I have 3 rectangles here. So 3, and then I'm going to press the eyedropper, and run that. That's one color. From the eyedropper is going to select this one. From the eyedropper is going to be the hair around. Let's zoom in. I don't want to. So the eyedropper again. I'm going to select this color and this color. There you go. I actually like that. A little pink on the flowers. I'm going to get that color too. Press I. There you go. And that's about it. I think I like those colors. The other ones, they're fine. Well, okay, let's actually select those colors. So and then that one. So I have the colors of 2 of the flowers. This one is going to be the same one on my illustration. So this one, let's see how different it is from the hair. It is not that different. So it's going to be the same. The hair and her necklace are going to be the same colors. So we have a palette. Let's go over here, and now that I have select all my palette, I'm going to delete this. Select all my palette, and then now I can actually create a new color group over here on my swatches panel. So go ahead and press that folder. Sorry. So again, I have all my colors selected, the ones that I want, and then I go ahead and press that folder. It creates a new color group, and then it's a selected artwork, and then it's going to by default make them global, and I'm going to name them Fridita. Fridita is the number of my color group. That's pretty cool, right? So now I have my colors over here. I can pretty much just like go ahead and delete that, and I can start painting with the colors that I already have. So boom, 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 boom. I'm going to select these 2 little guys. First of all, I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to change the outline to the pretty cool color that I told you about that I really like. And then skin, then I'm going to change it to fill. I'm going to change it to the color of her skin. Well, let's check what color is this. Yeah, we're in a good range. Why I check it's because I am colorblind. So sometimes I paint people's faces green and I don't notice. So let's go ahead and do this. And boom, and probably the eyes should be a different color. This and this should be this color, this color. The eyes are going to be also the dark color. The eyes are going to be white. Okay, that's not what I wanted, so behind that. Perfect. And let's change the stroke to everywhere is going to be 4 pixels. That's about it. I like it. 6 pixels. How would it look with 6 pixels? I like it with 6 pixels. Damn, I like it. It's obviously you try whatever you want, whatever you really like. I over here to stroke, and I change the cap and the corners to rounded corners and rounded caps. That way, if you zoom in, you will see that it has these little friendly corners and caps all around your illustration. So I'm liking this. Let's change the color of these. The necklace is the fill is going to be brown too. This one is going to be brown too. This little guy is actually, it's not exactly what I wanted. So these 2 are not going to have a stroke. And this is going to be white. Sorry, just this one. There you go. And this one, instead of having the stroke in the middle, I'm going to put the stroke outside. So you can do it over here. Select the shape that you want, and then go to stroke and align stroke. Right now it's in the middle to the center, but you can align it inside or outside. So if you do it outside, then your shape it's all good. It's not being obstructed by the stroke. Okay, I think I'm going to actually do the same over here. I'm going to change it to outside, and now my flowers should look pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to double click over here, change the fill of those to the, I think it was this one, right? Yeah, these ones were yellow, wherever that color is. Remember, I'm colorblind, I'm sorry. And it's looking pretty good. I'm actually going to change, let's change the color of this outline. Let's preview it, and let's see how it looks a little bit less dark. A little bit, and let's saturate it. And what if I move it to like red? I think if I were to move it a little bit orangey, it will look better. But I think I like the actual contrast of the blue. So you can see how it contrasts really well, I think, with the other warm colors. I'm going to keep it blue, but feel free to change it on your own illustration as you wish. I'm liking this, where this is going. I think the next step is going to be to add her coat. So I'm going to put this all the way to the top. And I'm going to change it to, I think it's yellow too, so let's change it to yellow. Let's obviously add her eyebrow. We're going to do that in a minute. And before we start shading. Okay, let's go ahead and do the actual coat. So select the illustration again, change it to 30%. I'm going to duplicate it just so I work on this little guy. Okay, so, and I'm going to lock it, object locked selection, and now I cannot select it. And let's go ahead with the pen tool. I'm going to start, this one is going to be pretty much a lot of points and shapes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's great. Okay, so we have this. We have everything under control, I think. Instead of 6, let's try 8 points. I'm even liking it better at 8 points. I'm probably crazy, but I don't know. I like that. Okay, there you go. We have it at 8 points. Let's try to add some shading to it. And shading is going to be pretty easy. To make the shading, we're going to say that the light is coming from the top right, from over here. So like this, from over here. And let's remove the fill. There you go. This is where the light is coming from, so always remember that. And let's start adding shading into, and actually this color, I think I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. And remember what I told you about having the global colors. The beauty of having the global colors is that you can go here and change it anytime. So I'm going to change the saturation of it. I'm going to preview it, see how it looks. I'm going to make it a little bit brighter, less saturated, around there. I think I like this a little bit better. I like this better. And I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to make them a little bit lighter. There you go. It's less contrasty, and your illustration will look a little bit softer. So we can start adding the shadows by just go ahead and duplicate the face and duplicate over here. And now I know that my shadow is going to be this part. So I have this is going to cut that. So Command C, Command V, I put it behind this little guy. So so this guy should be all the way on the top, and it's going to cut this part. So I'm going to go to the Pathfinder, and I'm going to press what is this? This is minus. So there you go. Now this is the shade, and the shade I'm going to press. Going to select the same color as the skin. Remove the stroke, and then I'm going to change the color to a little bit darker. So over here, let's move it over there. It's a little bit darker, probably even darker. There you go. And now in the opacity, I'm going to change it from normal to darken, and that way it only affects the color of the skin, because this guy is darker than the color of the skin, but it's not darker than the stroke, so it doesn't affect it. So I'm going to put it there. I'm going to behind the hair. I think we're good. Let's do the same with the hair. This guy's still in front of the hair. There you go. It's not in front of the hair anymore. Let's go ahead and do the same here with the hair. I duplicated it, and then I'm going to Command C, Command V. This guy all the way to the top. Then I'm going to cut it. I'm going to change the color to a darker color, less saturated color. Remove the stroke, and then I'm going to change the opacity to darken. There you go. And as you can see, it's still affecting part of the. It's not affecting the stroke. It is affecting the stroke actually. Well, we'll fix that later. As you can see, it's affecting these guys, but let's move them all the way to the top. That way it's not affecting them. There you go. There you go. And now on this guys, actually we could pretty much probably apply a drop shadow on the effects and then go to stylize and drop shadow. Let's try that. Let's go ahead and try that with the flowers. I think it's gonna be cool. So over here, multiply, and then let's make it a 60% opacity with a black. Or no, let's make it a 30% opacity, sorry. And the offset is going to be, let's preview it by the way. The offset is, since it's the light is coming from the right, the X is going to be negative. So negative 6 points and Y 6 points. Let's try that, and then the blur is going to be 0. And that's pretty good. Let's change the opacity to 10%. I like it. Let's put it 14%. There you go. You can get a little bit better at that, and I'm pretty sure you can do something that is not as messy as the drop shadow. Okay, let's go ahead and add the shade to the neck. So to the neck, we're going to do the same as we did before. We duplicate this guy, and then we also duplicate this because the shade is also coming from below her chin. So we, first of all, we Command V, we intersect these two guys, and now this shape, Command C, Command V, this one is going to be cutting this. Let's cut it down, and this cut down version is going to unite this one. So let's merge them, and then let's change the color to this, and let's bring them behind the chin. So I'm pressing Command left bracket until it's behind. There you go. So now it's behind her chin and on her neck. That's perfect. What else? I think we got it. Something else that we can do is add shadow here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm duplicating this element, and this element is going to do this, and I'm going to put it behind that. And I don't need this guy, so goodbye. This is perfect. And let's add a little bit of shadow over here. So let's go ahead and duplicate the hair, and then that, and I'm going to Command C, Command V. I'm going to intersect these two shapes. There you go. And then I only have this shadow. So again, let me explain you what I did. I duplicated the hair, and then I duplicated the face, and then I moved the hair a little bit to the bottom and to the left. That way I will have this shape, and then on this shape, I intersected it with the face, and I have this, and then I changed the color to this, and now it looks like there's a shadow from the hair. So I think we got it. We got all the illustration. Something that I'm going to do is now put her body inside a circle. So I go ahead and select all of her body, I group it, put it in the bottom, then I select all of her face, I group that, and then I'm going to create an ellipse, so circle around there, put it behind just to align it perfectly, probably align it to the face. That's about it. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think it should be around there. There, perfect. Okay, so now put this on all the way to the top, and then I mask it. So I select those two layers, and I'm going to Object, and clip and mask, and make. So there you go. Let's put this behind, Command Shift left bracket, and then I can add a color or stroke to this. So I'm going to add the yellow, and I'm going to add a stroke of the same dark color. This one is going to be 12 pixel, no, 16 pixels, so it's the double of our normal stroke. And then I'm also going to add white here, just so it fills the rest. So this one doesn't have a stroke, it's just white, going all the way to the bottom, and there you go. Now this little guy is going to be white. That's pretty much it. Now we don't need to know where the light is coming from. So there you go. Now we have our little Frida that was coming from an illustration. It's not the same, obviously. It's a vectorized version that it did a good job of keeping some of the details and also transforming it into a vector illustration. So there you go. That's a process that you can take to do this. Pretty good stuff.